What would we like to see in a PS5?
Let's find out.
Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Triangle Squared. As we posted on Twitter, in case you don't follow us on Twitter, Saul is actually out this week and cannot join me for the podcast. So instead, if you've watched Party Plays at all, joining me today is Mr. Blaze Lewis, my longtime best friend. Probably will continue to be that for the foreseeable future. I love you, Blaze.
Oh, fuck you.
So anyway, we debated going over hey, look, Saul shaved his face and looks completely different. But, that just felt like...
it just felt mean to Saul.
For those who listen on audio, it wouldn't be as funny, So
Oh, definitely.
You may not know that Saul has a beard, or that I have a beard, or that Saul is 7'6".
Saul's voice got dramatically deeper. I shaved my beard.
Don't say anything. People would be like, man, this other guy sounds very odd. So anyway, what we want to do this week is kind of talk about, we mentioned it in the last episode, and we had a couple people on Twitter say that they thought it was a good idea, an interesting idea. So we're going to talk about what we'd like to see in a PlayStation 5. But before we hop into all of that, we typically talk about what we're doing, what we've been playing. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and let you take the spot since you're a guest, Blaze.
Oh, thank you. That's
what
so sweet.
have you been playing this week? It doesn't matter what it is. I'm sure Hearthstone.
I always play Hearthstone. That don't even count anymore.
Yeah.
No, I assume you probably know Crash Bandicoot.
Is that all you've been playing?
All I've been playing. Aside from Hearthstone.
How farther have you gotten to do it? I think when we talked last week, you had been like, what, 5 or something levels in?
Yeah.
Okay. It just come out, to be fair. It's not that weird,
Yeah. Plus kids and all that garbage.
Yeah. Garbage.
Love
you, Jess.
Let's see. I can't remember what stage I was on, actually.
Are you off the first island?
Yeah, I'm off the first island.
Have you done heavy machinery yet? Where you go on the escalators
I know where I'm at. I'm still stuck on the fucking kangaroo boss.
Oh.
I haven't.
Ripperoo? Oh, man.
He's an asshole, dude. I keep slipping off on those panels.
And that's a problem. I didn't run into it until it came time for time trials, but man, when it came time to do time trials in that game for the platinum, oh my lord. There's a couple of levels where it just really rears its ugly head. You played one of them, the Road to Nowhere, and then the High Road, where it's the bridges that they have gaps on.
Upstream was kind of bad sometimes too. Not near as bad.
I never
as
slipped off anything
now,
but yeah, I never slipped off anything. But I see what you're saying. Well, that's good. That's good. So just Crash Bandicoot. Well, I've been playing Crash Bandicoot, and I started I decided it was finally time to play my annual Kingdom Hearts 1 playthrough. So I'm at the very end of Alice right now, fighting the Trickster.
Oh Lord.
And I'm playing
actually not bad.
I'm playing on Proud mode
because you play Tarzan.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, that's gonna be horrible.
Well, technically, you can go Tarzan first. It's a bad idea because the combat rating is higher. But yeah.
No, never do Tarzan.
So that's where I'm at right now, and then
on the chameleon for
with Clayton on the back.
Clayton.
Yeah, so I've been doing that in Crash Bandicoot, and then I played a little bit more Ocean Horn on Vita, the little Zelda-like. Came out on PS4 first.
Oh yeah,
it's really fun. I like it a lot. And I got the platinum on Crash Bandicoot 1, so I can finally move on to Cortex Strikes Back. It was killing me because there was 2 levels I just could not get the relic for at all because I couldn't even beat it. It was like the time trial wasn't the issue of getting the time. It's like I couldn't even beat the level in the time trial.
Platinum, did you have the platinum each time trial?
You don't have to platinum each time trial, but you have to get at least gold, which means you have to get the middle level on every. So that was fine. I did all those first try. The only one I didn't have, I had 2 levels that were just keeping me on.
And you got to get the jewel.
Yeah, the jewel, but I did all that first. So that's how you 100% the game. In terms of the game itself, it considers it 100% when you've gotten all the gems. And then you get the platinum by getting all the relics. So did that, and now I'm going to move on to the second game, and I'll probably wait until I platinum it to move on to Warped. But that's my plan, so nothing too terribly... I don't know. There's other games I feel like I need to get back to. I don't know. I really felt like playing Kingdom Hearts, so that'll probably be my break game, but I'm playing on Proud mode.
No.
So,
I still have Proud mode.
Because I've already died to the Trickster once. Yeah. Right at the very end, though. Maybe Max, how...
the first game. Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm been playing on Proud, but...
And are you still... Oh, no.
Well,
that was PS2
if you play
that you
on
were...
Proud, you should be able to skip the Roxas intro. That is because I played it on Proud on PS3, and my PS3 died, so that means I've got to restart that shit.
Yeah. I didn't. That's actually.
And I hate the Roxas part. It was so cool the first couple times.
It's just it sucks when you've played it a lot because it's just so dragging. It was super awesome first time through because it's like, what's going on? This game is so weird.
Who's this guy?
Okay, well that's good.
Where can I get his armband? Hot Topic.
Have you played? I don't know if you've even picked it up. I know you play on PC instead of PS4, but have you played or even picked up the Rise of the Necromancer for Diablo 3?
Oh no, not yet actually. No, I haven't.
Got to remember to talk into the microphone, please.
I'm new. Don't yell at me.
I don't know what to do.
This is hard.
Okay, so
no, I didn't get the Necromancer pack, which I've been
I'm
wanting
assuming
to play it.
Is it the same price on PC?
Yeah, it's still $14.99.
Hey, if you need to, you can angle your mic towards me. Don't you can look at me.
Don't yell at me.
All right. Anyway.
No, I haven't played it on PC yet.
Okay.
It's the same price, $14.99.
Too much.
Nah, I've got mixed feelings.
We've had this conversation, but
Yeah, mixed feelings. I'd definitely say it's not competitive, but I don't think it's too much.
yeah.
But I definitely need to do that. But of course, because I was waiting until the next season starts to do it. Because
the next season
some reason
starts in like a
that's
week,
how they
right?
threw everybody off on that the people try to predict this stuff. They threw everyone off because it came out like 3/4 of the way through a season, and the next season doesn't start. I think actually it might have started the
No. It starts. I want to say like
I
closer.
wanted to say the 7th,
I wanted to say it was
maybe
three.
the 14th.
It was 4 weeks removed, right? From when it ended, which is the longest it had.
I don't think it.
But the Necromancer didn't come out. It came out right at the end of season 10.
We've got technology.
Well, anyway, I'm really surprised you haven't played it. Have you kind of cut down on Diablo anyway?
Yeah,
though?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I know you
Hearthstone
loved it on
and
PC, but man, me finally getting it on PlayStation 4 and having people to play with really reignited that because I just did not like playing. Carpal tunnel to the max, man. I don't think I can ever be a PC gamer. I spend
you're right.
all day.
Ends June 23rd.
Yeah, okay.
Still got some time left. Might pick it up anyway then.
So I think that it ended the weekend right before Necromancer released.
See, and I'd played on PS4 with you, but God, I don't want to start over. Hours.
I've never had a character, because I didn't play on PC enough, I never had a seasonal character run through the end of a season and then it pushes everything that you owned into a seasonal drop box or whatever.
No, it puts it into a chest and it
weird.
takes forever to get it all out if you've got a bunch of crap.
Well, on the PlayStation, thankfully, because the PC still uses a visual menu system, right? Where like you go to each section, but they're not just in a list, or is it still in a list?
No, it just appears. It's actually in the mailbox, and it's just.
Well, I know that, but I can't. I feel like when we played on PC, didn't it show what's in your inventory based off of pictures of it? Right when you open up your inventory box.
I'm not quite sure. I might not be paying as much attention as you were.
I'm fairly positive. I played on PS4 so much.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
because I used to play Diablo 3 pretty religious.
We're gonna go ahead and let you hop into the drop.
The drop.
To keep the pace of everything. I figured I told Blaze he can just he can take over all of Saul's little things that he does. So yeah.
Hopefully I can live up to those.
What we typically do is just
you set for me.
Yeah. What we typically do is just whatever system it's coming out on, like that one's VR, and then it's digital. So it's not physical at all. And then if there's a date beside it, that'll imply that it's a different release instead of a Tuesday. So just whatever day that is.
Well, okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so go ahead.
First is The Bellows for PlayStation VR, coming out on digital. A VR horror experience.
Yeah, I think that
horror,
was a...
not horror. That's you gotta be sure that I pronounce that right. With my southern drawl.
I think that was a Oculus game first, or a Rift. I mean, not
Most
Rift.
likely.
What's the other one? I can't even remember. HTC Vive? Yeah. That's it.
No, a lot of stuff comes out on Vive first.
Yeah.
All right, Black, The Fall. That's also Well, no, that's not also PS4 digital. I'm not sure what that's even about based off of the
description. Yeah. The artwork is very vague.
Very, very contemporary. Then there is Day Tower Rush, not D-Day Tower Rush.
Weird.
D-Day Tower Rush, I imagine, would be kind of insulting to have dinosaurs. That's PS4 digital. Defend yourself from a horde of vicious creatures by building Okay, so it's just a tower defense game with mechanical dinosaurs.
It's a mechanical dinosaur?
Yeah, that is a mechanical dinosaur.
Man,
that is Grimlock. If I've ever seen Grimlock.
Everybody's riding on Horizon's dick at the moment.
Dude, Transformers did it first, dog.
Yeah, I know.
Got that 12% on Rotten Tomatoes.
The new one.
Derelict Fleet. Derelict. Derek.
Yeah, Derelict.
PS4 digital. Some shit with spaceships. Echoes of the Fae, The Fox's Trail, PS4 digital. So you don't normally read the descriptions?
No, we've been skipping.
Okay, cool. Because
people liked it. It hurries it up a little bit. Hey, we're gonna Vita title,
which I'm taking forever anyway. Oh, a Vita game. Energy Balance, PS Vita digital, out July 12th.
7/12. That's probably. It must be a Monday.
Energy Balance,
right? Oh no, it's Wednesday. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Fantastic Contraption, PSVR digital.
It's a fox
playing
VR.
Final Fantasy 12, The Zodiac Age, PS4 digital and retail. Is that the expansion? Oh, improves? No, okay.
It's a
remake.
Yeah, the remaster.
The PS2 remaster.
Yeah. Lean into the microphone.
It wouldn't be an expansion if you tell me that one more damn time.
You're not picking up on the mic enough.
I'm trying.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. Frisky Business. Oh my God, and this looks like some. It's PS4 digital on the 13th, and it has.
Oh, that's a Thursday release, actually.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Looks like an eligible anime bachelor. Different personality women.
Probably a dating sim. Hunting simulator.
No, he's a private detective. Relationships with your team as you take on the. I know you're not doing descriptions, but I feel like that one's.
Well, hey, if you feel like it needs it, you go for it.
Hunting simulator, PS4 retail. Do
you think that's a dating sim too?
No.
Him and the duck.
No. Typical bear roaring, majestic creatures, has a gun, looking in the distance, gonna kill him.
Surprise! It's not a Cabela's game.
Iron. I hate my accent. Iron. Cryptical. PS4 digital. Leap of Fate. No, that's misleading. Leap of Fate. PS4 digital. I will learn to talk sometime soon. It's cyberpunk. Roguelite. All these words that are almost normal words. Minecraft Story Mode Season 2, Episode 1 on PS4 and digital.
Well, hey, that gives me hope. If that's because it's a Season 2, I'm really assuming that Batman's going to get a Season 2 at some point. I really wish they'd go ahead and get through.
Same engine.
Yeah. I really wish they'd go ahead and get through Guardians of the Galaxy, because I bought it physical in March. And Episode 2 just... you only get the first episode. But Episode 2 just came out like not even a month ago. And March. It's going to be the end of the year before it's
That's
finished.
What you get for buying shit. I'm just kidding. I've never been a fan of the Telltale games, but I can understand that people like them. You see them with the bugs and the Mr. Pumpkin Adventure for PS Vita and digital. It's a Vita game. Immerse yourself in the logic and puzzle solving that will help Mr. Pumpkin regain his memory.
Something about that art makes me think of SpongeBob.
I don't know.
Just a little.
It's PS Vita, so might try it. Just Mr. Shifty.
Yeah.
PS4 digital. Punching people in the face. Serial cleaner. PS4 digital. Okay. Slip on your flares, grab your shades, and hop into your station wagon. It's time to go to work as a professional cleaner for the mob.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So serial cleaner.
Okay. Transport Giant. PS4 digital. Be a Transport Tycoon. Warlocks versus Shadows. 2D action RPG brawler. Yama. PS4 digital. I don't even know. Squidbillies looking.
Not sure.
Okay.
All right. We're good. All right, Blaze. Well, look, you filled in the Saul's shoes very mediocrely.
That's all I can hope for. Such a great man.
Yes. Saul. Start talking about him like he's dead.
Miss you. What?
We miss you, Saul.
What movie was that? The Secret Life. R.I.P. Ricky.
Yeah. R.I.P. Ricky. That's actually a good movie.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Hopping over into news. A couple of interesting things. So, Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age was on the drop, and it also heads up the news. It's a little bit of a light news week, at least in things that I can really consider interesting. But yeah, the download size for Final Fantasy 12 has been revealed, and if you plan on picking it up, you may have to make some room on your hard drive because this mofo is big. The game will be 40.68 gigabytes. And just for reference sake, that's coming in just 10 gigabytes under Final Fantasy 15. Is it a
remaster or a remake?
Remaster.
Okay.
That's coming in 10 gigs under Final Fantasy 15, which is a brand new game, or a modern game, and 10 gigs more than the Final Fantasy 10 collection that had 2 games in it.
And it's $50 for.
Yeah, $49.99, and it comes out the day after this episode post. So if you are interested in it, and it does look great, I love that game. It's very interesting style. Then yeah. Go pick it up, but be prepared in case you're going to download it digitally for sure. It's going to take up bandwidth, and then if you're going to, of course, if you end up buying it, you have to install it anyway. So I wonder if the installation size will still be the same. It typically is fairly close. So next up is that PS Now has, and they talked about this early in the year, but PS Now has finally added PS4 games to its lineup. Though not very many. A few notable titles available on the service, in the US at least, are Killzone Shadowfall, God of War 3 Remastered, Resogun, and Evolve. Interestingly enough, if you live in the UK, the list is a lot larger and has games like Tearaway and some other stuff. So thought that was interesting. Hopping off of Killzone Shadowfall and that, we're going to talk about Killzone Shadowfall's director, Stephen Terhide, is leaving Guerrilla Games after 12 years with the company. He is leaving the company on good terms, it seems. On his Twitter, he mentioned starting something new will be a big adventure, so best of luck to him in the future endeavors. I'm assuming he's probably going to leave and make his own indie studio. That's what a lot of people have been doing, because,
Guerrilla Games,
I think...
Like how big...
They're big.
Okay.
They also they scale up and scale down as they
yeah.
need to, but it's a big developer.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of
like how big is their normal team they keep on even in between games?
I don't have a number, but I'm assuming very large because really, if you even want to talk about between games, they've been to a
also I assume he's worked on Killzone 2.
Yeah, he's worked on every Killzone if I'm not mistaken. I think Killzone 3's director was Herman Holst, which is if I'm not mistaken, and he's the director for Horizon. So, but
cool.
Anyway, I'm happy for him. That's cool. I mean, a lot of people end up going out and doing their own thing just because these big studios are pretty relentless and they have to continuously work. And as soon as they get done, they get a small break and then they go right back to it. But that's good. I love Shadowfall. I can't. A lot of people wouldn't say, but I mean, we were talking about unpopular gaming opinions last episode, and one of the people who watched us commented on, and he was saying that he actually thought the Shadowfall was the best Killzone. And while I don't. You know what I mean? I can't agree that it's the best because I love 3. I thought 3 was really good, but 3 and Shadowfall are very similar. Did you ever play Shadowfall?
I played it, never. You
need to beat it because I know you love 3, and dude, the ending ties back to 3 in such a satisfying way. And that game is really good. I still have it if you want to borrow it.
Oh yeah. I wish they'd put Killzone. Well, did they put Killzone 3 on PS4? Not yet.
Nope.
They need to.
Make sure you face microphone.
I am facing them.
You keep looking at me. If you need to move the microphone, do it. Hey.
This is not couples therapy.
Hey.
You don't yell at me.
Hey, just scooting on over this way so you can look at me.
Okay.
Because I get wanting to talk to me and look at me. And when you do, circle around the mic.
Anyway, a remaster would be great.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while. I don't know if we'll get 1, 2, and 3 like we did on the PlayStation 3 because that seems like trying to bring 1 over would be really weird in today's standards. But I think 2 and 3 coming over in an HD collection would be really good. And considering that 2 and 3 have a story arc that's combined, it would make sense.
2 kind of updated would be really cool. I mean, they don't even have to.
But 2 is great. I mean, it was a really beautiful game and had a lot of cool things. I actually think that 2 had some of the most interesting use of motion controls in the entire PS3 gen because I really liked setting the charges on the wall and then...
Yeah. Well, I don't feel like they'd have to do a lot to that game. Just being able to play it, even if it was just digital, to be able to play on PS4. Because for reference, I've beaten Killzone 3 on the hardcore setting 4 times.
Oh, I knew you did it a couple times.
Yeah, no, 4 times.
Did you not platinum that game?
What? No, because of online trophies.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole different topic for another day, online trophies.
Yeah, really, I've said that a lot. I wish the game series would just come over to PS4 specifically due to I want to play the multiplayer again. And, I'm not big on multiplayer, but that game had really fun multiplayer.
Well, the servers are still up, though?
I think they are, yeah. So. I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen it go on the list. So let's see. So next up is that patch 1.30 released last week for Horizon. The update brings with it the highly anticipated New Game Plus mode that was absent at launch, as well as a new ultra-hard difficulty for those seeking an extra challenge. So New Plus New Game Plus comes with 2 new trophies, as well as adding the ability to put face paint on Aloy or customize the focus, which is interesting. I mean, they keep doing stuff with this game. I do think that it performed. I don't want to say better. I think Sony knew it was going to perform well.
Oh, definitely.
But putting that to paper is really good for them. So, let's see. Next up, and this is kind of saddening to me because I really love the first one. Lords of the Fallen 2 looks to be having development issues, starting development in 2014, shortly after the release of the first game. The team, as well as the budget and scope for the game, have been reduced. According to one of the laid-off developers, the game has yet to leave the concept vision stage after 3 years in development.
That's not
so
good.
I would definitely not expect to see this game anytime soon, or maybe not even at all.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing because the first game was really interesting. But
well, speaking from it, because the issues they had on PC.
Yeah, because you never really got very far in the game because of the PC version being kind of janky.
And they updated it and updated it and updated it. Eventually, it was worth playing. I still have it, but by then it's like okay. And I think different Dark Souls came out, and Blood, all sorts of stuff came out. It's like okay.
Yeah, it came out in a good window because it came out when there wasn't any other kind of Souls-like game on PlayStation 4 yet. I think that was smart.
Yeah.
And then Neo came out at a good time as well. It made sure it steered clear of Dark Souls 3 and stuff like that, which is smart. So, final thing on my list, and we have some more information regarding this. Actually, this is a little out of date, but Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy has been selling phenomenally. The game was the UK's best-selling game of the month, despite only being on sale for 2 days. It beat out Horizon's first week of sales, which was previously the best-selling single-format game released that year in the UK. And it appears to have sold very well in North America as well. Originally, the sales data was not available, and it still isn't completely. But I'm going to go ahead and, from that end of the news, I'm going to hop over into... Which
is fantastic for what PlayStation fans want.
For sure,
because this was something that I'm sure they took a gamble on because people were talking about wanting it.
Yeah, because it was talk. It was all talk.
I mean, because like we've talked about before, the fact that they completely redid the game the way they did it
says a lot.
It's phenomenal.
Because they very easily and with less of a financial strain on them, they could have just just re-upped the old games and released them again, kind of like what Final Fantasy VII did.
Yeah,
first where they've released the PC one back on PS4. They could have done other things like that, but go ahead.
But what it leads to is hopefully more games. Just nostalgia is selling. Regardless,
some people have a little bit of a problem with that. They think that
that they're just cashing in on the cash
on old games, but
at the end of the day, it's a business. And at the end of the day, too, I love those video games. I'll play those
exactly. People want them.
Spyro, fix the camera a little bit, even redo it.
Yeah. I would be interested to see that, though, because I keep saying that of the 2 games, Spyro aged worse.
Yeah, no,
because of the type of game it was. And I tell people, and we were talking today, Trace came over and he was talking about Crash Bandicoot. He's like, I just think that this is such a good game. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot of people that say it would have been received better if Mario 64 didn't come out like 3 months or so before it. And I disagree because I've played both games and I still prefer Crash, but that's because they're very different types of platforming.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I don't. To me, I don't feel like they affect each other.
Well, see, that game had kind of bad camera too. Looking
Mario,
back.
So one of saving graces for Crash Bandicoot is that you didn't have to worry about camera because of the way they chose to design it, which was interesting and it also helped them make the game as beautiful as it was because they got to control where the camera was and they could hide stuff.
Next, though.
I hope, but at the same time, I'm a little worried just because, like I say, can they do it the same as this? Because the thing is that they made this game feel just like old Crash Bandicoot. I don't think that you can get away with making old Spyro feel like old Spyro.
The last few Spyro games were, I never played them, but from what I understood, the last few that they did before moving him over to the Skylanders.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last one they did before moving to the Skylanders didn't sell too well, but I actually think it was considered a good game. He was an adult. I can't remember the name of the game. I used to see it at GameStop all the time.
No, they can redo
they
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, whatever they want to throw at me.
Well, technically,
Beyblade, I don't care.
That. Did you play the? I know I didn't, so I doubt you did. The PS3, I want to say, or it may have been early PS4, where it was just Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is what it was called, and it was like a remaster of certain levels from 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I never played it, but it's supposed to be something like that. So it wasn't the whole games, but it was like, hey, similar play style. So anyway,
in general, hopefully this means we get more, not just remasters, just.
Part of me wonders if we get a new Crash game in a similar style.
I wonder how much harder Spyro would be, though. Considering,
it's open 3D world, which is what Mario 64 was. And I mean, those are more comparable games in my opinion. But and I do think that open world or real 3D traversal in those kind of games ages differently. I mean, there's people that say Mario 64 hasn't aged poorly at all, but I disagree. So whatever. Anyway, so what I was talking about with the Insane Trilogy is that the 2017 best-selling games for PSN for the month of June is up, and number one on the list is a little surprising, Friday the 13th, the game, which is only surprising because I don't know how much you looked into it, but the game had a lot of server issues at launch and a whole bunch of stuff.
It became a Twitch game.
Yeah,
it's been one of the top 10 games on Twitch since it's come out because it's funny, Well,
and that asymmetrical gameplay is just interesting to watch because it's seeing a bunch of people scurry around while there's this one person trying to kill everybody.
Yeah, it's definitely it's fun to watch people's reactions.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched people play it, and I actually found myself watching
Twitch.
it.
I'd say Twitch is responsible for that because at first, I guarantee you, people were like me, like, "What the hell is this game?" And why? Well, and then watching people play it, it's fun. It's like, oh, I need to go get this.
I'm just really surprised that the server issues didn't kill them. So that's good. But the more interesting thing is that even though it was on sale for one day in the U.S., Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy is at number 2. So that shows that game really has sold
once again
immaculately.
Nostalgia selling. $40 is a good price point, and it's
and it released at a great time. Nothing else in competition.
I didn't have anything else I'm playing.
Yeah, I mean. It's interesting. I think that they really primed themselves for success, and they're reaping the benefits of that. So, third game on the list, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, Game of the Year Edition.
Makes sense.
Grand Theft Auto 5. God of War 3 Remastered.
That was on sale.
Mm-hmm. Battlefield 1. Horizon Zero Dawn hanging in there. Tekken 7. Minecraft. Rocket League. FIFA 17. NHL 17. Uncharted 4. A Thief's End. Good for it. Need for Speed. Injustice 2.
Injustice.
Yeah, I know. Injustice. That's the Martin Luther King version. You didn't know? Dying Light, the Fallen. That would actually be awesome. Now, the more I think about it,
Martin Luther King fighting game,
because it's so against what he was for.
No, just have them saying inspirational quotes the entire time there,
and it hurts the other person.
Like him and George Washington just beating the shit out of each other. And Abraham Lincoln comes out 4 scores, and he gets a combo 7 years.
Man, I think we may have just thought of a great game.
I'm pretty sure the Clay Fighters did that though. Not Clay Fighters.
What were you just?
Well, in my head they were clay, so I guess.
Well, yeah, I guess. But no, I like the idea of it. Not even that's even better. A pacifist fighting game. You don't actually ever swing. You just say words and you do like weird moves with them, and it throws the words.
Inspirational quotes in them. No.
But you can dodge them, or you can counter with your own inspirational quote. That'd be great, man. Game developers, if you're listening, we're willing to sell this idea. Copyright, Triangle Squared.
No, if you record it, it's proof of copyright. Conception.
Yeah. All right, so let's see.
Our thought, baby.
Dying Light, the following. Ratchet & Clank, Payday 2, Crime Wave Edition, Overwatch Game of the Year Edition, and Star Wars Battlefront. Overwatch being there's no surprise at all.
Overwatch was on sale, too. Not very much, like $10 off, I think, something like that.
I mean, I think that game's overpriced at $60 to be fair, but dude. I'm telling you, $40.
You get hours and hours out of a game.
But all I'm saying is that the part of that really costs money is typically the storyline aspect. That's what people keep saying. Like Call of Duty says, the campaign costs them so much, and for a while they were like, we don't know how many people play it, but I'm glad they kept it because it gives something for.
There's back and forth. I can see that being the case.
But I just think $40. Considering that,
if it was $40, they might charge other games that are $40. They might charge you for characters, and they're good about keeping their servers and everything going decently well. Every now and then.
So they announced that Doomfist guy. Do you not have to buy him?
No you don't have to buy any character in it. The only thing you buy in that game is loot boxes, and they're completely cosmetic.
So DLC stuff. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
No.
Well, before we hop into the main topic, I always end up forgetting about this beforehand, so I'm glad I remembered it this time. We have one reader mail, and it's from @mynameisdan on Twitter, and
hey, Dan.
He is a very, very nice man.
What if his name's not Dan?
my name's Dan. Hi, my name's Cody. If you see this, let me get it into the camera frame. Beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, he made that. Designed it, sent it to me. Very nice fellow. I love it. It's beautiful. And the thing I really take away from this more than anything, I was talking to Blaze about it. I just love the PAL Crash Bandicoot, or not Crash Bandicoot, but the PAL PlayStation 1 cases, that is nothing at all like what PS1 cases in America were like. So the North American versions are definitely different, but I love this. It's a really cool style. Check him out. He's got ones for, I think, Nier Automata, Drive Club, The Last of Us, and something else. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, definitely pretty cool.
He's just screaming at the. I said it was.
Well, he's got him on his Twitter. I think he keeps him as his pinned tweet. So if you want to check those out,
his name is my_name_Dan.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
And wearing a Bubba Gump shirt today.
Bubba Gump.
Yeah.
Oh, that plays so good.
It is good. All right. Well, his question is, what are your thoughts on digital versus physical games? Are prices fair in the U.S.? They are rubbish here. And do you trade your physical games in? So, Blaze, I'm going to let you go ahead and answer this first because I don't know where you even really stand on some of these issues.
So $1 is 78 cents to them?
I put that there for comparison's sake when we're talking about prices.
Well, is this... Okay, so British pounds is UK prices.
Yeah.
Because I know Australian prices are
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's British pounds.
Same prices in US.
First thing, let's go ahead and say, what are your thoughts on digital versus physical? We'll both go through that.
Okay, digital versus physical first, because I'm going to need more information on how much a game actually is.
No, we'll talk about it over there. I mean, typically they're around 40
Digital
pounds,
versus physical, coming from being... I love PC gaming, but that's something that's always turned me off onto it, unless it's something like Steam, where they make bullshit excuses on why you feel justified spending your money on it.
Yeah,
but,
not really.
But...
I mean, I'm with you because I've been
$10 off, Brett. It's going to sit in my computer till it's $5 off next year.
Yeah, I've caught myself in that trap more than I can.
Well, and to be fair, I don't ever buy AAA titles on computer. Rarely, unless they're on a good enough sale. I think Shadows of Mordor I did, because PC, there was incentive.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Anyway, I mainly buy indie titles on PC, but that's usually the only thing digital I do. I don't really care for digital on my PlayStation 4.
Yeah, you're physical over digital, right?
Well, yes, because, back to that question, do you trade your physical games in? I don't trade them in. I sell them on eBay, which is a lot better of a, depending on how you want to do it.
I don't trade them.
Okay, $30 store credit versus like $50.
To be fair, I do think that I think the essence of his question is, do you get rid of your physical games?
Yes, unless it is a game I genuinely just...
So do you prefer physical because of the ownership value?
It's something there, man.
I mean,
it's if I wanted to be like, hey, Brett, play this game, what you buy every game just about anyway. But there's that physical aspect of it. There's the case. There's opening it. It's like, oh yeah, can't wait to play this. Oh shit, it's got installed.
Yeah.
Digital just never. I don't understand them being the same price, and that might be where he's, part of maybe his...
and what he's saying is that when he says our price is fair in the U.S., I do think he's specifically talking about digital versus physical. I think he's saying that digital prices in the U.K. are ridiculous, whereas you can buy them physically for a lot cheaper.
Okay, I see. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he didn't go into detail, but I'm, fielding his questions. I'm pretty sure I've seen that before anyway, so I think that's what he's saying is that... because
my thing on the digital, I don't understand why it's the same price. I really don't.
But
there's
to be
printing,
fair,
distribution.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that cut
and
out.
If there was a $5 price drop, $10 price, I would probably buy digital.
But what's more crazy is, like he's talking about in the UK, why are the prices apparently worse? If that is true, and I hope that I am assuming correctly.
I think the reason is because they had a lot of discussion about this with Hearthstone at one point.
Taxes,
and
over
there's
whether
a tax, and because it's
still
with it being digital. There's still a weird, some sort of import tax. I could be talking complete nonsense at this point. I might not. What do I know? But from what I've seen, as far as because prices of Hearthstone packs are more expensive, like 50 cents more a pack.
Overseas,
yes.
Okay.
I think Asia they're actually way cheaper.
It probably is some kind of an import tax on the digital goods. So I think that would be the first question. Yes, I would say that overall, prices are fair in the U.S. if I'm right in assuming that for some reason digital games cost more there. At launch, you can get a physical and a digital game for pretty much the same price. If you pre-order ahead of time on the PlayStation, you normally can get some kind of incentive off. So sometimes like $7 off or whatever it be. So yeah, they're typically fair. And then of course they go on sale, so sometimes they're a little fairer, which I'm sure that happens a little bit everywhere. But my answer to the question is, yes, I prefer physical. That's just who I am. I am interested in Saul's bit on this. I think he's somewhere in between.
Are you sure that's not backwards? Hold on.
Do you think that
physical might be cheaper? I think physical. Well, yeah, that's what
I was saying.
Okay,
physical cheaper.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely probably it because looking at this, Crash Bandicoot's $28 85 in there.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But
I was about to make a British joke. I'm gonna be nice for once.
For once,
I'm
yes. So mean and rude.
I'm such an asshole.
I'm a curmudgeonly old man.
But anyway, no, because that would be absolute. If we're correct in assuming that would be bullshit. If I can go to the store and buy the game for $28.85, but it's still $40 digital, that's complete bullshit.
And of course, like this, because of the value change, that's why part of why I put this 0.78 British pounds on here. Most new games around there are around 40 pounds. Which is pretty close to the equivalent, and of course the pound is stronger. So it's pretty close to the equivalent of a $60 game here, and that's what they are typically new. $59.99. Crash Bandicoot was $39.99.
So beats the shit out of Canada.
Yeah, Canada's got a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, especially do you see how much the new Xbox is going to be there? It's like
I don't even want to know because the PlayStations are already kind of expensive there. The Pro was like man.
So.
In comparison to here, it's very crazy. So, yeah, I mean, that's where I stand. I do, and as far as, Blaze is right. He does sell most of his games. I am very much against trading unless I just really don't like the game. I like this physical collection thing. I'm not going to worry about moving the camera, but I've got like 60 or something PS4 games over here. Way too many. Yeah, that is true. But it's something I like, and as you can see from my wall of collectibles, I'm a very physical person. It's just what I like. I'm not saying it's a healthy habit, but it's a habit. So,
no, it's definitely a habit. Those damn pop figures might as well be made out of cocaine.
Yeah, they're very expensive too. So
they're printing money.
Printing money. I don't know about that. I always say, would it be cool if you worked at a pop factory, just make your own customs, take them home?
That's an issue. The prototype sleeve and misprints and stuff. Employees put them in duffel bags.
Oh, really?
Bring them home, yeah, because like the prototypes are worth a lot. Because apparently, some reason it makes it an unfinished one.
That's weird.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
that's a deep dark rabbit
hole. So like
I
was saying, as far as the prices go, I think they are fairer here. Now, I can't really say why. I think that's always been something that's kind of weird, and they've recently started taxing digital stuff.
It's instantly more fair if they're the same price. Like the fact that physical copies are less. That's.
Now, where I stand on this, too, though, is that I agree with Blaze. I think that the bigger argument over this whole situation should be why is a digital game cost that much more? We should get the savings that they're a business, up to them, but it would be nice that the savings that they're having to get from cutting out all the middlemen, the salesmen, the cost of shipping these things around, all that mess, if they can cut all that out and then give us some kind of a value. What if a digital game was $10 cheaper, brand new? That would be awesome. But
it's like Crash. If Crash was $10, it was $30 digital.
Yeah.
I'm never going to trade in Crash.
Yeah.
There's no real reason. Games like that. There's no real reason to.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for me, but like I said, I just prefer physical. So, but yeah, okay. Moving on to the main topic, and I think this is going to be a little interesting because this was something I planned on doing with Saul. But I'm going to go ahead and roll through it, and we can kind of. We'll get Saul's, hopefully he's here for next episode, no issue. And we'll kind of cap over his opinion because I am interested in it.
In our prayers.
Gone but not forgotten.
Gone but not forgotten.
Okay, so what do we want to see in a PS5? Where my idea behind the entire topic is not only just, if you have ideas of what you'd like to see in the box from a hardware perspective, go for it. If you have things that you would like to see, like the philosophy behind, they sold the PlayStation 4 as a games machine, games first, and a lot of people like that philosophy behind it. So if you have a philosophy that you would like PS5 to inherit or kind of market out and kind of it's built around what the system is going to be in the consumer's minds, that's there. If there's really anything, if you would prefer Sony to try and push more towards indie again, or if you like to see them continue to do this AAA stuff.
So not necessarily just hardware.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you'd like to see Sony doing with the PS5 around the era that it comes out. So, I'll go ahead. If you do...
Well, you go ahead.
Okay, so where I kind of stand on it is looking at the Xbox One X, I think that the thing that the PlayStation 4 Pro, the One X, and even the PS4 and the Xbox One all kind of share is that they have very weak CPUs in comparison to what you can get in computer. And a lot of these games use very heavy CPU intensive physics and stuff like that, to where it's like Destiny. Okay, Destiny 2 is not going to be able to hit 4K 60 frames per second on Xbox One X or PS4 Pro. And everybody's like, why? Well, most of their calculations for all their physics and stuff and the multiple people coming on screen it's typically done to the CPU. Well, you can't stretch that CPU magically just because you have so much more GPU power. So what I would like to see is...
Well, they're creating a bottleneck.
Yeah, we have more than enough graphical power in the Pro and the Xbox One X for sure. Definitely. So if you take that, what I would like to see them do, and I think that they are looking at this, obviously, because they're seeing what's kind of stopping them from being able to continue on, a bump, obviously, in graphical output. Now, who knows? Xbox One X is putting around 6 teraflops out. You give Sony 2 years, and let's say that, like I've said before, I think that they release a PS5 in 2019. I'd like to see them putting out somewhere around, if we see the jump that we've been seeing, 10 teraflops would be pretty interesting. But what I would like to see is a CPU that's really a big jump. Now, I don't know how that's going to happen, because part of the reason that we see these and they're built this way is that these CPUs are mobile CPUs, and they're there to make sure that the power draw isn't too much of a requirement, and that they dissipate heat well without having to have a fan or anything, or without having to have too much going on it. So I'd like to see a CPU jump. I'd obviously like to see a GPU jump. I'd like to see them be a little more in line with each other. And the main thing for me, and it's not even that I want to use it, but I do think it's something that at this point there's no reason not to. With the jump from the 360 PS3 gen into the Xbox One PS4 gen, you got to see Sony and Microsoft both go towards PC architecture. So this is x86 architecture, same stuff, which does make development a little easier for everybody when all of the games are across, no matter what format you're doing them on. They're all under one format. Or architecture. I would like to see them keep that architecture, and with that architecture, I would like to see them keep the keep backwards compatibility, because why wouldn't you be able to at that point?
Yeah. One
of the biggest reasons that Sony claimed, and Xbox at the same time, around the launch of the systems, that they couldn't do backwards compatibility is the change in the architectures. So it's trying to emulate an architecture on a completely different architecture, and the cell processor was already known to be weird. So while Sony may have been able to push
but I don't think they're going to change stuff that much, because
I think they've hit a point now where it's easier for them to do it, and it makes developers more happy. And that's the thing, is that they're going to continue to make money, and people are going to continue to want to buy their games if the games that come out have a higher quality and are easier on developers. So basically, the quicker you can get a game out and the less time it takes to work between a bunch of different formats, the better you have, right? In terms of being able to output games enough for where people are like, man, there's a lot of games coming. Because, early PS4 generation, there wasn't really a lot of games coming out, and it took Sony a little while to get their ball rolling on exclusive first-party titles coming at a relatively swift pace. Now we've hit that, and we're there.
Yeah.
You've seen them just at the beginning of this year, and even the end of last year, just have a stride of nothing but first-party developed, exclusives coming out. So I'd like to see that, and I think that early days of the system, I would like to see Sony already have the ball going. And kind of already have a good number of exclusives, and then continue a pace throughout the year, which is what they're doing nowadays. So I'd like to see them continue that.
Well, looking at the specs here, I noticed the PS4 and the PS. You probably already know this, but the PS4 and PS4 Pro both have the same processor, just a different GPU. Now that, I mean,
now the processor is clocked a little more on the PS4 Pro, so it's the same processor with a higher clock speed and a little bit more going on with it, but it's the same architecture, Jaguar architecture, but you see almost 4 times jump in the teraflops if you look. So the GPU has got a considerable boost.
Do they not play 3D Blu-rays anymore?
You can now, but they don't do it natively through the system, but you can do it through PSVR now, which sounds crazy, right? But you can.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Well, that's also saying if Sony doesn't come out with something besides Blu-ray sometime soon.
I think Blu-ray is probably here to stay.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future. It's easy, and I feel like they haven't hit its max yet. So there's other things I want to say, but I want to go ahead and see kind of what you're thinking after that. Definitely after you're looking at the specs.
Well, I'm just getting informed for the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. I know a lot of this already, but I know you don't tend to look at this.
It's kind of the same thing you just said about the whole Blu-ray argument right there. The fact that Blu-ray has plenty left to do. I know 2019-ish is what we're looking at for a new
maybe even 2020. I think they're going to wait until there's because here's the thing.
If anything they learned from the PS3
go ahead.
is that, I mean, The Last of Us, if you would have shown The Last of Us at the beginning of the PlayStation 3 life cycle.
And said, hey, this is what this will be able to do.
They'd be like, even the developers like, no way. You're kidding. So I don't see that the same thing's going to happen with this. You know, I think the PS4 Pro was a decent upgrade enough to where I feel like
you learn
console cycles aren't going to work the same. I don't feel like console cycles are going to work the same ever again after this generation.
But just Sony is locking down and saying that they're not going to take the Microsoft approach of these continual just little jumps.
Yeah.
And Microsoft will say what they want to, and they kept saying this beast and this blah blah blah. But realistically, the Xbox One X is just it's the same as the Pro. It's it's basically a hyped up Xbox One. That's all it is, and that's why it keeps that Xbox One moniker. Regardless of what they want to say about it, they have a very similar CPU.
Yeah,
it's different, but it's not strong still.
They did that because people were slightly disappointed with the Pro announcement because it was just pretty much it was just like, hey guys, here's this, but with it was
bogged
HDR,
down in the tech.
Yeah,
and the problem was that most people don't have 4K TVs. Streaming is going to lose your quality. You don't get to see the
you don't get to
quality.
See it. And so that's a whole different topic for another day. But I'm trying to think of what I'd really just want to see out of a PS5 that I don't feel the PS4 is capable of.
Well, two things.
Because why would you, if we already have it, why would you want something?
Of course. Yeah. Well, sticking with GDR5 RAM, that's going to happen.
Definitely.
That's going to happen.
Well,
the Xbox One X has got GDR5, but it's also 12 gigs. So, my assumption is that the PS5 will have at least 16 gigs of RAM.
It needs to. Because that's pretty much your basic on it.
Well, and the reason that starts to come through, and then it also matters on GPU, is that while the Pro can output in 4K, it's not using native 4K textures.
Yeah.
And the Xbox One X can, but it's not going to most of the time because you're trying to move those textures through the CPU. Not going to happen through the GPU, depending on how it goes, because some of it just offset stuff to the GPU. And this is really bogged down in the tech in the tech episode, but the tech matters. But I don't want to go too far into that. But that's what I expect to see. I expect to see a more power. I want to see another console.
Well, see, and that's
jump.
why this is so weird of an idea, at least for me, to think of what I would want, because you don't normally have. You have the Slims come out. You don't normally have hey, you other gamers, the ones who actually want
the power.
The power. Here's this. So that completely kind of throws it off, in my opinion, because. Unless they just do something like, hey, no, screw that, we've got something twice as powerful. That's the only thing they could really do to justify a PS5. But who knows? The way technology's going, in 3 years, it could be the PS4 Pro could be like, oh, they figure out some sort of. Just look at graphics cards.
Yeah.
Shit, the jumps from the 9s to the 10s on the NVIDIA's.
Yeah,
nuts. Absolutely nuts.
And I wonder. My assumption is they're going to go with AMD again, right? Nintendo went with NVIDIA.
If they want to keep their...
But they went with NVIDIA because they wanted to be portable, and they knew NVIDIA had a good portable card.
They're already one less bottleneck between their... If they're using an AMD processor, they're probably going to use an AMD GPU.
They're going to contract us out one way or the other. Yeah. They're not going to mix and match components.
Okay, I thought that's what you meant.
No,
what I don't see why not. If they're trying to keep their costs down,
they're
going to try to keep their costs down, and that seems to be Sony's competitive edge, the last gen, or the beginning of this gen.
And one big change coming into this generation was console manufacturers stopping the game of losing money on consoles to make it back later on the games. That was always what happened beforehand. So with the PS4, what they strive to do was keep the cost down for the consumer, but also be able to make a console that they are not losing money on. So early generation for PS4, they were making like $6 off of a PlayStation 4, and as components continue to get cheaper, they make a little more and more. But I think that's smart. They didn't lose money on the VR when they developed it. They made sure that it was going to be profitable because Sony got so far down, and they were like, "It's smart. It is a business, and definitely. If you're going to make something."
And I think people forget that sometimes when they want something from that company. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, they have employees they're trying to pay, regardless of how you feel about the way that works.
Which, don't get me wrong, I'm surprised the Xbox One X is $500. A little bit. It's been a year removed from the Pro, so it's not that surprising. Components have gotten a little bit better. But what you're going to see is, do I think that the Xbox One X is too much? I do, but not because of what's in the box. I think it's too much for what consumers want.
Yeah, definitely. And because... Maybe that's the thing. Maybe they make it. See, by that point, you get too close to the computer. Or do they make it where it's like, hey, you can buy this version, and this one has what's it called? You can buy interchangeable.
Yeah. God, I know it.
Socket.
Now you've said it, and I can't think about what it is.
Please let us know in the comments. Anyway, because what if they gave that option? Like, hey, that'd be a good way to keep their cost a base price. Be like, hey,
modular.
There you go. I went to college.
For two classes. I took recording class twice. Anyway.
But, because then, that's a far-fetched idea. I don't think they'd ever actually do that. But to me, it's like, okay.
I don't think they would either, because it loses what makes consoles easy.
As opposed to just
plug
being,
and play.
Because as opposed to being like, hey, here's Model A, Model B. Model B's a lot better. Model A, hey, if you're just...
And that's kind of what they're doing now, which I think is fine. And I think that it's interesting.
Do you think they'll do that at launch? I think that'd be dividing resources.
Yeah, I don't think it'd work.
Getting back on to, aside from the sales tactics of it, one thing I see, but everything I think of, it's like, okay, this thing, better battery.
Yeah, and that was a big...
But why can't they do that now?
Well, technically
the new ones that come out,
with the light bar have a better battery, but not only by like an hour or two. And you know what's more interesting? You can take it apart and put the PS3 battery in it, and it lasts longer. So it's just a bigger battery. They probably did it to keep costs down on the controllers.
Definitely.
Which again, I'm not saying. Yeah, I would like to see the system keep this design for the controller. Maybe a small nudge, but I don't know, man. That's almost perfect.
Well, to be fair,
some people think that the touchpad's a little useless. I think it's interesting when used correctly.
At least it's there.
Because Killzone Shadowfall.
Now, do you think that affects the battery life at all? No.
The LED does more than anything.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing about it. They've reached, that controller's awesome.
Yep.
But there's a day where it's like PS3 control. It's like, man, this is sweet. But then you look back, it's like, oh, my fingers were sliding off the analog sticks quite a bit. There was, certain times where I felt uncomfortable having.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like PS3.
That's opinion. Controllers.
Well, it always comes down to the jumps because, I thought the PS3 controller was great until the PS4 controller came out.
That was my point.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, but I played it with the Xbox 360 controller, and I still prefer the PS3 because I don't like the
Actually, here we go. Here's a good one. What about a different UI?
Then what? Cross media bar? Because that's not even what this one is.
No, then the one that's being done now, a different UI. Yeah,
dude,
I loved the PS3 one.
I'm probably in a completely. I wish the Vita had XMB. I wish the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 has XMB, but it's what I call the evolution of XMB. It's, if you look at it, yes, it is technically XMB. It's fine. I like the UI. It's much better than anything the Xbox One has done yet. I mean, that's still opinion, but I mean, the Xbox One one's very bogged down on that stuff.
You know what you're getting into on this.
Yeah, this is a PlayStation podcast.
None of the Xbox.
This is like the people who are like America, but we're like PlayStation. I try not. I mean, the thing is, you got to try and just be fair. You got to look at it and see what's being fair. So
you put fanboy goggles on, and your opinion gets diluted. But like I say, I can't just think of something that's just like, man, that would make a PS5 for me. Like that can't be done already. Like not even, besides of course, if you wanted something with more power but do you feel like kind of need to catch up anyway? The PS4 and then of course the Scorpio or whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah, Xbox One.
The Scorpio
Pro.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, like
Scorpio was a cool name.
That's kind of where we're at. But then again, we're looking at 2019. 4K TVs are kind of not even. They're starting to get more mainstream, but they're already like, "Oh, screw this, we got 8K."
Well, but that's always what happened. 4K was found back in like 2006 or something, probably before that. But what I'm saying is that tech's going to keep doing that. But I think
absolute
is
native 4K would absolutely be something
great.
Worth buying another PlayStation 4 if because once again, it's the same thing as the HD TVs, the 4K TVs. I give it by 2019. Any new TV is going to be 4K.
Exactly.
That's just about how it is now.
We're typically there. Yeah, we're almost there. It's just smaller TVs are still keeping 1080p.
I mean, it's just there's a slight price jump. I think what happened
is Sony's waiting, obviously, to put out a true 4K system. Not what Microsoft's doing, where they said it was, and then there's a bunch of developers saying, not really. Because even PCs are having a problem with that a little bit. But I would like a true 4K console. 4K 30 frames per second, fine with me.
Yeah, the 30
fine
frames,
with me. People who complain, I mean, I get it, and it would be lovely to see a console that can do both. But that's typically going to come down to CPU. It's going to be hard to get that out of a mobile CPU. And I don't think they're going to move away from that system.
Not without having some sort of liquid cooling or something.
Which is what the Xbox One X has. I don't believe it, to be honest. I think it's something that they can call it, but it's not really. But regardless. I think
if you want to get just down to the nitty gritty, what would make me want, I think a PlayStation 5 should have, would be native 4K.
Yep.
And at least 30 frames. I say by the end of its life cycle, they can get to 60 frames. Which some games that would affect, like Overwatch. People want the 60 frames on Overwatch.
Nier Automata is a 60 frames per second 1080p game.
Yeah,
it helped. It's an action game, but
And once this few years down the tunnel, so maybe that's possible. But that would be the only thing worthy of a new PlayStation to me that can't be done right now with the PS4.
True 4K.
True 4K.
Okay, so
absolute native 4K. And if that means they need to wait a couple more years, I feel like that'd be reasonable.
Backwards compatibility.
Like
I said,
absolutely.
that's something that
I do.
And not even
if it
me,
does not
I don't
have
care,
it on this one,
I don't care.
There
that
better
much,
be like some crazy technical reason why.
Because it's such a jump.
Yeah, because if it's not as big of a, if it's looking like it's such a light jump as it might. I mean, I don't want to diminish it, but
I don't think it'll be a light jump.
I don't think it's going to be the jump we had from PS3 to PS4.
Well, really,
unless
really, what it would need to be is a jump from PS2 to PS3 because that was jump.
Insane.
That was a whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think one of the other things I'd want to see them do, like I say, having games right there at the get-go, having that pace set. I would like to see them get back behind indies because they've kind of fallen out of that. If there's a business reason for that, then that's fine.
I feel like that was a big thing when they were pushing the Vita there for a little while. And because
and that's what the Vita still floats by on indies. It is what it is. But I think some of these indie games are so good.
Yeah. No,
and it's just like, I would like to see them get back to pushing it because, Sony was
clean up the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, you remember we were at PSX and we saw the vanishing of Ethan Carter?
Drain the swamp. The swamp of the...
what remains of Edith Finch? You remember that game where it's like...
There was quite a few indies we saw
of course.
At the last PSX.
But that game was awesome, and it came out, and originally Sony was publishing that, and then they ended up stopping that, and it went to Annapurna. I don't know why they stopped it. It was a XDev developed game with Santa Monica. And they ended up moving that out. But still, I just think that was an interesting thing to see them. They really moved away, but it's also like they've made PSX the hub for indie, so who knows? I'm kind of with you, though. I think true 4K, obviously.
Definitely.
The only thing I'll say is I want to see whatever PS5 is. I want to go into what I don't want. I don't want it to be a Switch. I don't want it to be anything like the Switch.
No.
I don't want it to be
gimmicks. No gimmicks. Straight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I want it to just be a gaming console, but I won't even call the Switch as a gimmick. It's just that it's useful if you want that. I don't. I prefer the divide. I prefer it to be, hey, do you want a handheld? Here's a handheld. This is it.
This is a home console. We swear.
And not.
I've not hardly played that thing. The only time, dude, Mario Kart one Jess wants to play. That's
months. I haven't touched it.
Oh, I meant on the screen. Any other time I
don't play mine. It makes me wonder why I bought the thing.
No, I play mine. Well, you don't like Mario Kart though.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I play mine
Mod Nation's better.
I play it on the pooper.
My opinion.
I play the Switch on the pooper.
Well, I don't know. I mean, just saying in general. I mean, I don't want to see them do this.
Classic console games would also be a huge step. Because that's what I use my Vita for now, just about. Of course, every now and then there's the indie game you want to play. But right now, I mean, hell, it's like, what Final Fantasy or Mega Man game am I playing?
Yeah, I'm with you. And then the Vita had a slight misstep because you couldn't download a lot of the PS1 games. I don't know why.
Yeah. Then you could if you connected it to the computer one.
PS3 and all this weird stuff. Yeah. But yeah, there's that. So, I mean, besides that, I'm kind of with you. I think that it is going to come down to specs and the jump you want to see. I want to see a drastic jump. I want it to be like when the PS2 jumped to the PS3 and you saw it. And that's going to quit happening to a little bit because of diminishing returns.
Yeah, we're just at a point.
You're getting to a point where the noticeable differences are going to be a little less apparent. It's going to be stuff like, okay, well, now we're able to make the world feel better because the world's going to have enough trees to feel like a real forest.
Yeah.
Or it's going to have enough particle effects to have the dust fly through the air.
You know what I don't want on PS5? Skyrim. I don't want Skyrim on the PS5.
What you mean that you don't want to see Bethesda re-release Skyrim a 13th time? Because by then it's going to come out on
Did you see the
VR, AR Skyrim, where it's just you walking around. There's going to be dragons in the air, and you're like, whoa!
You punch them.
So
no, definitely no Skyrim. Hopefully a new Elder Scrolls game.
Elder Scrolls 6 by that point,
and hopefully not Kingdom Hearts 3. I do not want to see Kingdom Hearts 3 on the PS5.
Yeah. All right.
If that don't come out on the PS4,
is there any features that you can think of that? And a lot of the time,
the UI is a kind of it's fine.
But I feel like the PlayStation UI has gone a lot up from when it launched. Folders are great. I would like to see them have some of the stuff it took them a while to get.
And then the backgrounds are kind of getting better. But that was the coolest thing about both the Vita, not the Vita, the PSP and the PS3.
Real themes, yeah.
Was the themes and I was like, because that was the coolest thing. Because at first you didn't have themes on the PSP either. Then it's like, I hacked it. I'm super cool. I hacked my Vita. I've got I say Vita. Same thing. Same thing.
Spiritual successors.
Always have one.
I'm with you. I would like to see them have a lot of the features it's taken them to build into the UI. It's taken them 3 years to put some of these features in. I would like to see them be, for the most part, hit the ground running with most of the stuff, because it was a quite a jump to go from the PS3 to the PS4, because it was like, oh, my CDs don't play. I can't listen to music I can't listen to music because there's no way. It was weird.
Well, now you got the Spotify thing you can do.
Again, and they worked around it. You couldn't play 3D Blu-rays at launch. You still technically can't. You can just play them through VR. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
Could be wrong on
I
that,
think
but
3D
is dropped down,
though.
of course. But 3D has a place to live with VR. I feel like, because it makes more sense. But. Stuff like that.
So
you remember when we used to use my PlayStation 3 all the time as like a media hub where we could stream from my computer?
Yeah.
It took forever. No, you can
a little bit more
PS4
open.
now.
I think they closed it off. PS3 was pretty open. You can do.
But they closed it over time, because you remember when it launched with Linux support, where you could dual boot Linux to it, and they had to take that away because of people getting in through back doors.
Can't have nice things.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So anyway, any closing thoughts, or you kind of?
That's about my thoughts on it.
We're done. Okay.
It better be worth a new console.
I'm sure that there are things we've forgotten about as we continue to ramble. So if you have any ideas of what you'd like to see for PlayStation 5, please tweet at us. Put it in the comments down below. If you have ideas,
we want to hear them.
I'd like to hear them, just because I like sometimes when I know that it's something I would have thought of, but we're in the headspace of trying not to
sound too repetitive.
Yeah, exactly. And you end up doing it anyway.
I'm a rambling man.
You're born one. Oh Lord,
what about a PlayStation Eye? Not trying to get back on a PlayStation.
I think the camera's been fine, but what's funny about the camera is that people used it better streaming stuff. For people who want to do streaming, Twitch needs to be better integrated. I don't even know if Twitch is technically integrated on PS4. It was integrated at launch with Ustream or something like that. I can't remember which one.
I don't know about the camera being integrated. I know you can play it from the.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
People were doing their own shows from it, and that's why it sold so well, because people liked the streaming aspect. But yeah, definitely make it easier to stream, because it would be nice to be able to do streaming without having to think about all these things I'm going to set up in place with it, and
you
then
think
how
they
to log
should
in.
Keep PS4 now?
You talking about PS Now?
PS Now. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if
that was improved upon quite a bit, maybe.
The fact that it's a service is already weird, but I think PS Now is more of Sony trying to get to the people who don't want to buy a console. Because you can just play it on a computer now.
Yeah, then why would they do it?
As long as you have relatively good internet. You don't have to have a beefy computer. You just have to have good internet.
Yeah. Because I kind of like it. Being able to play stuff like Ni no Kuni when they. Yeah. But if they actually made it to where it's like, hey, but then when you get to 4K gaming, actually, I bet you PS Now won't be on. Because when you start getting into
die.
Yeah, if you start getting to actual 4K,
well,
it's lasted longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, me too. All right. Well, like I said, if you have any of your thoughts, we'd love if you shared them with us. And of course, if you listen to us on the audio services, if you don't mind, I love seeing the reviews, because I like seeing how they shape the show over time, because we're still in early days. Like I said, this is episode 15. It feels like a long time, but we get to do these weekly changes that we see that kind of make the show better paced, or just better for y'all as a whole. Now, I always say, I love to hear them. It doesn't mean I can promise that we're going to make the changes you want to see, because sometimes they're just impractical for us, or for any number of reasons. Or we may even take some of those ideas and incorporate them into a different show. Blaze is going to start being on the channel more often, so get to know that face.
This beardless baby face.
To help everybody, his name is Blaze. His legal name is Blaze. Born that way, didn't change it. He's like Lady Gaga. He's born that way.
Born that way.
Yeah. So anyway,
I get tired of that question too.
Yeah.
What's your name on this order?
Blaze?
I've gotten where I just use my last name.
Lewis.
Yeah,
my name's Lewis.
That. I don't want people to know my last name.
You do not know my address.
You cannot find me, internet.
Can we talk about all the gold you have buried in various locations?
Not really.
All right. Well, anyway, until next week's episode, maybe Saul will be back, and who knows? We could have Blaze on another episode. We may even start doing little bonus episodes or something.
Blaze, if I do not feel you did that terrible, you might come back.
Yeah, tell us how Blaze did.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, tell us how Blaze did. What's your Twitter handle?
Alpha2113.
Alpha2113. Okay, so at Alpha2113.
There might be an underscore there.
I don't know.
There might be an underscore there. I've never had to tag my Twitter handle.
Well, let's look. Because I want people to be able to send you some love or some hate.
Love.
They hated you. I hate you.
Stay the fuck off, man.
You ruined my favorite.
It's Alpha_2113.
Okay, there you go. At Alpha_2113. You should change it to like Nartec Alpha Blaze or something. I don't care what you do.
My Twitch is.
You want to be OG?
I want to be OG.
Okay, you can be OG. You can be original gangster. Don't worry about it.
And I would be Alpha on Never Ender. Not Never.
On PlayStation.
I'm Never Ender now. Yeah, I would be on PlayStation.
Okay, well that's great.
Shuhei.
Anyway, until next week's episode.
Shuhei won't let me.
Thank you for joining us, and let Blaze know he did terribly or great. Just however you want to send.
My ego needs it.
Yeah, his ego needs it.
I need it.
Thank you.